You need exactly 0 followers to make $50,000 in the next 90 days as a coach, consultant, or agency owner. And if you don't believe me, ask my client Muzz. He's an agency owner who, no matter how hard he worked, posting content, sending out cold DMs, using complicated funnels, he just couldn't make any sales. Nothing changed for him until he used exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. In other words, he made his first $50,000 in 3 months without an audience. This method is so simple yet so powerful, and it starts with finding and attracting your dream clients without having followers. The mindset shift that allows you to flip the script so the clients start chasing you instead of you chasing them, and converting calls into cash effortlessly. If you've tried posting content consistently and yet leads are not coming in the way that you need them to, while bills just keep piling up, all of that changes now. How do you find and attract your dream clients without having any followers? This is exactly what Muzz did. This is exactly what I had him do that led to his results. Now, this works whether you're using school.com or any type of community, whether it's circles, Facebook groups, although a caveat is that if the community is free, you're probably going to have to do more work to find your ideal clients versus paid, because a paid community basically means that people are a lot higher value. They've already pulled out their credit cards. They're likely to pull out their credit cards again to work with you. That's something to take into consideration. So School is an excellent platform in that sense, because you can easily, if you type in here into search, and let's say your target audience is marketers or healers, whatever that may be, right? You can search communities as long as you use some type of keyword that describes your target audience. You will likely find a community that is relevant to you. So you can join these communities. Like I said, if it is a paid community, and that's the beauty here, you're more likely to find the right people. But let's just go for the free example. What do you actually do once you're in these communities? When I went to college, my roommate, everybody knew him even before the first day of college. Everybody wanted to know who this guy was. Why? He did something very, very smart. He went into the Facebook group of our college and he just started adding value. Students had questions about, hey, where do I find this information? And he would say, hey, you're probably going to find it here. We're just chatting, having just cool, fun conversations. He was instantly one of the most popular kids in college because he did exactly what I'm sharing with you in this video. Here's the mindset that you want to understand. If you're going for the hunter mindset, you will fail. I've done this for many, many years. I prefer doing cold outreach, just pitching people right off the bat in the DMs. For this specific strategy, it is not going to work. Because if you have engaged communities, which is fairly rare these days on Facebook groups, but school communities are highly engaged, just like you're going to see in these posts, people tend to remember you pitching them. In fact, school has some limitations in terms of how many DMs you can send every week. So keep that into consideration. In other words, what you want to do is aim for quality rather than quantity. We're going to get a bit deeper into this mindset that will allow you to become a client magnet, allow clients to come to you instead of you chasing them. So the first thing you want to make sure of is that your target audience is literally in the community. So a great way to do that is to go through the members list and here's mine, and see, what are these guys up to? I've been in school communities where I then, it was paid and my target audience wasn't there. So I just exited the community because it just didn't make sense for me to be there. And the value proposition is not necessarily there. Ideally, perfectly, would be a community where you have your target audience, and then there's also something very interesting for you to learn, something that you're passionate about. For me, for example, it would be YouTube maxing. This is basically a community that teaches its members how to get leads from YouTube, something that's very, very interesting for me. And most of these people are my target audience. So I spend a lot of my time here adding value. So the first thing you want to do once you're sure that your target audience is in that specific community, whether it's on school, circles, whatever other platform, that like even some networking groups as well. JV Directory is a good one. Grand Connection might be something interesting for you. Just Google them, you'll find them. Now, what do you actually do? You want to make posts, but not just any type of post. You want them to be slightly different. You want them to be very much you. So this is something that's very personal to me, right? I've calculated, okay, how many cold DMs did I send throughout my career as a coach? And it's actually more than 50,000 cold DMs. So I shared a post about my own personal experience with this. What did I learn about rejection? And I tried to bring as much of myself as possible to these value posts. And I'm going to show you how you turn these likes, these comments into calls that later turn into clients, right? So just stick with me. I also want to make sure that these posts are very, very relevant to the target audience. I know that they are dealing with fear of rejection, right? I know that some of them haven't sold themselves first on the value of their service. Maybe you're going through that. Here's another example of something fun that I do. Something that I help my clients with is their marketing, their outreach. So what did I do? I made it very much unique, right? I shared something like, I'm gonna rate your tomatoes. Instead of doing for 1 to 5 stars, I said, I'm gonna give you a 1 to 5 tomato rating. And people loved it. And also included a yo mama joke in here, right? I said, your mom is so fat. When she got on a scale, it said, I need your weight, not your phone number. And I also invited them to post their your mama jokes in the comments, and that was super fun. And I shared something personal. I said, you know, what do we call tomatoes in Romanian? They're called reds, literally reds. And then I said, no, we don't call bananas yellows because that would be racist. So try to add a bit of your weirdness, a bit of your weird humor. Something that's extremely personal to me that I was afraid to share online, and then I did. I actually, you know, it's not something that I'm necessarily proud of. It's one of my flaws, right? I still smoke to this day, and that's how it actually started because I used to smoke cigars, and then because of the fear of rejection and how painful it was, I just kept smoking more until I was an addict, you know, just to numb that pain. So the more personal you make these posts, the more people will connect with you and your story. That's what you want. You want something that's very uniquely you, so that when they do engage with your post and then you do message them, they remember you. So make a list of all the things that are very uniquely you. Make a list of all the stories that nobody else can share, right? The stories, the stuff that you've experienced. It doesn't have to be business related stuff. Not all of it. If you need some inspiration for your value posts, I linked a document with these posts below. And whatever you do, do not pitch in the posts. Just add value. How do you actually transition these people into a sales call, right? Let's pick a random example. What I used to do in the past, and that I'm not doing anymore, would be just pitching people, hey, here's what I got, or I have this free magnet, do you want it or not? Instead, what I do is I make it about them. So let's say Alexa left a comment on my post, or, you know, you can also engage with people, message people who liked your post, but the response rate is not going to be as high. So again, we're all aiming for quality. You want more of the farmer mindset versus the hunter mindset. So I know a lot of you want to make 50K in the first month. For some of you, it might happen, but that's not necessarily what I want for you. I want you to make, you know, to have more of a long-term vision and be grateful for whatever happens. Like if something like someone likes your post, amazing, great win. Somebody replies to your DM, amazing, great win. And then you want to build up so much credibility, so much value, and have people know you in those specific communities because you've shared so much. Like every single thing that you put out there should be life-changing for these people. Ideally, that's what you want. That's what you want to be aiming for. You're building up that goodwill, and you have people commenting, appreciating your stuff. What do? Let's go to Alexa. Now, if I were to reach out to Alexa, I would say something like, Alexa, thanks so much for the comment. I really enjoyed talking with you. And I recommend making it very casual, not so professional, like more human. The more human you make it, the easier it will be for you to have more conversations. And that would make it about her. So Alexa's into crafting simple, effective tech solutions, and she's getting to launch. I would say, Alexa, thanks so much for the comment. I really enjoyed just talking with you. Tell me more about your tech solutions. What kind of companies do you work with? Something very casual, like, hey, I just want to learn more about you. Let's take another example. Let's go with Ian. If I were to start a conversation with Ian, I noticed that he loves peace and freedom. I love freedom as well. It's a huge value for me, right? Highest values, and I've been consistently becoming loving and peaceful and free for the past 28 years. I would just say, Ian, thanks so much for the comment. I enjoyed your perspective very much. Make sure to read the comment. Don't just do something like a copy and paste. People feel it, people notice it. And I would say something along the lines of, hey, freedom is also my highest value. I'd love to know, how do you personally create more feeling of peace and freedom in your life? And they'll get them talking. Right? Now, you want to build a bit of back and forth in the messages, and then say something like, hey, you know what? I would love to connect with you for 15 minutes this week or the next. I'd love to learn more about your services or what you're doing. And maybe put you in touch with a few people as well, like share some connections with you as well. Now, the reason why you want to share that is because when you're using this strategy, you're going to get to meet more and more and more people. Ideally, you want to keep track of the people that you're meeting and what they're doing, what kind of services they're providing. Even have a document with that, so that when you do meet somebody new, if they are not a good fit for your services, or if they don't have a need that you can solve, you can say, hey, you know what? I think you should really meet this person. I just talked to them the other day, or this other person, and they would love that. They would appreciate that so much, just getting to know more people. So all of a sudden, you're not just this guy or this gal trying to sell something, trying to pitch something. You are also a connector, and people love being connected. Something that you guys might not know about me is that I'm also the founder, the host of Dragon 88. This is a community for 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. I got a bit ahead of myself, and all of them, every single one of them has this mindset. Every single one of them. None of them are salesy. None of them, when they're connecting with each other, they're not trying to push their stuff, right? Is this a coincidence? I don't think so. So if the most successful people have this mindset, I think it's a very powerful mindset to adopt. So this is where the farmer mindset comes in. You're not trying to reap yet. What you're trying to do in the first 1 month, 1 month and a half, 2 months is sow. And then in month 3, you start collecting. Now, does that mean you make no sales? No. It doesn't mean you're not making any sales in the first month. So here's how you turn that 15-minute connection call into a sales call. Usually when I connect with people, they're like, hey, I ask them, what do you do? They tell me what they do. And then when they ask me what I do, I say, I'm an amplifier of money and freedom for experts, agency owners, entrepreneurs. For example, one of my clients, Muzz, right? He went 3 months without making any sales. He made his first $50,000 in 3 months with me. Or my biggest client was doing 120 million a year, terrified to grow his business, got him unstuck while on his way to doubling the business. So then I shut up and I listen, I watch. When I see people's eyes light up, or when they start asking me more questions about what I do, I know that they're interested. I know that that's an indicator of interest, and that's someone I can transition into a sales conversation and say, hey, what are you doing right now? Right? Like, what's something that you're not struggling with, but what's a project that you're excited about right now? And they say, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, what would need to happen to be that for that project to be a huge success? Well, if this happened and this happened and this happened, and I think to myself, okay, can I help with this and that, or just with this and this? If I can, I say, hey, I'd love to support you with this. Here's what it would look like. In some cases, you can test it out. You can tell them right off the bat what the cost is, or if you want to wait until another conversation, Muzz just closes them in the first call. I prefer to have 2 calls. I prefer to give people some homework, see if they do the homework. If they do the homework, they're going to be great clients. If they don't do the homework, they're probably not going to be great clients. So after that, I schedule a second session. And in the second session, we actually have the proper conversation of what it would look like to work together, what the investment is, so on and so forth. So for you, what could be that statement? And this is the structure, right? Interesting statement, amplifier of money and freedom for bam, bam, bam. Yes. And then case study, maybe case study. Case study could be your own personal story, what you've done for yourself. It could be what you've done for others. It could be what you're looking to do as well. It doesn't matter, right? Let's see if it's interesting, because if you're looking to do something that they might find interesting, that could be a potential client for you. Yes. And then listen, third step is give value in that connection call and see how they also, what do they react? How are they responding to the value? And make it very, very clear. This is a mistake that I used to make. Make it very, very clear that when you meet up the second time, you will have a conversation around them making a purchase decision. So what I usually say is, I'd love to have a conversation, have a deep dive with you, about an hour, right? Have a proper coaching session. If that's cool, just know that at the end, we will have a conversation about working together long-term. Is that okay? And they usually say yes, right? So when you do that, it allows for a smooth transition. Now, big mistake is don't turn every connection call into a sales call, because you want to have this millionaire 9-figure mindset. Service before sales. Very, very, very important. Your priority throughout this strategy is not to sell. If you sell, great. If you don't, that's totally fine. Your priority is to make a difference in that person's life, as long as you make it clear that if you meet up again to have a proper value conversation, you will also have a conversation around them buying. The majority of the people that you meet will not be a good fit for your service, and that is okay. Give them value, whatever you can, connect them with somebody else that can give them even more value that would be relevant for their projects, right? Of course, ask about what their projects are. And in 3 months, you will be known in these communities as this awesome person who everybody should get to know, that everybody should connect with. Now you know how to make money without having an audience. Does this mean you should stop marketing your services and stop building an audience on other social media platforms? Absolutely not. So in that sense, if you want to learn the easiest, most effective, sexiest marketing strategy that will help with your connection calls as well, check out this video. But then what do you do after creating so many connection calls? You have to learn how to sell to these people effortlessly without being pushy. That is what this next video right here is all about.